Hello, everybody. This is Mike Austin. I've been noticing on the Buildbox forums that a lot of people have been having the same question about how to actually add a melee attack to your character. Melee, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's fairly simple. It's with a couple of different things you can work with. I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so here we got Numi here. I'm going to show you from my actual production file. Just got through working on this non-stop every day for the past year pretty much. So let's go ahead and jump into Numi's little actions here. I already have one set up here. You can see how I have everything set up pretty much this way. The idea is you want to make your character be able to trigger an action, and once that action is triggered, you want two things to happen. You want a spawner of the same caliber and the same strength that can do two things. It can kill the character and it can kill the enemy. Okay, the reason why you need to do that is you need to make sure you have garbage collection, because if you start spawning out different items and if the character gets killed but the spawner is still active, it'll spawn through your whole game and it'll just be a terrible thing. And if you don't have any way to kill that, then you're going to have a problem with your game getting bloated, which I ran into many times, and a lot of problems there. Okay, so I have this animation with Numi just kicking the ball here, right? So what's going to happen is I want to attach this to a button. So I'm going to go back here and go into my UI here. I'm going to go character button, jump. Let's go. Is that going to be an action? Let's go and grab a character button here. Make a new one. Grab this one out of here. I'm going to call this one kick. Okay, now go ahead and go to your function, component action. Keyboard, I'm going to set this to spacebar for now. Okay, now everything else looks pretty good. Let's make sure we block touch through. I always keep that off, so I always add different things to mix things up here a little bit. Stick to edge, everything's good. Okay, now let's go back to our world, to our character. Let's go down here to that kick. Now let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that to a event. Let's go ahead and press the kick button there. Very nice. We'll time that out. Now, this is the good stuff. Nothing will happen to anybody if Numi is hit. Numi hits an enemy with this. Okay? So what we have to do now is I have certain little buttons here that do things just for that. So let's go ahead and go down to my trigger action. I think I have it set up here this way. So my trigger action B, I'm going to put this here. Okay, so this is going to be the hitbox. So that if any enemy gets hit by this hitbox, it's going to do some action to them. Okay, it's going to hurt them or whatever I want it to do. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is so that if I have an enemy that I want to, maybe if he gets kicked, gets set on fire, I can trigger that within the other actions within the game. We kind of create a chain reaction when you're working with different parts of your game. Okay. Right now, currently, little is known about how these connections work, but I hope to in the future make a larger tutorial to explain this to everybody more so, because Buildbox is really strong if you work in this manner. Okay. Now you got to kind of think, as I'm trailing on there, you got to kind of think about your hitboxes. Like, do you want this to hit this far when he does this, or this far? I think this will be a good one here. So this is kind of gives you a little bit of leadway. The character, you won't be able to see where this is hitting, so the player will just think, oh, anything around here and up here will get hit. So okay, so we'll go collide. No collide. Destroy character. This is the sweet spot here. Make sure you make a duplicate one and destroy enemy. So what's going to happen is once these two trigger, they will kill each other. Okay, so it triggers, it'll kill the enemy, it'll kill the character, and once those two things happen, it'll just disappear. They won't spawn anymore. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure these are both spawners. Set this to 0.1 6, any, basically if you make this to 0, it'll spawn like so many of them and it'll slow down the game. So I go keep it to between 2 and 6, depending on how many hits you want this attack to do, because it'll spawn 6 times. I've had characters and this attacks with Numi that if I do this attack, it'll hit them 12 times within that. So that might be a thing if you have this going off multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's just like a super move, like in a fighting game, you can make them hit 12 times one time, as many as you want to. Okay, so you can even make a multi-hitting fireball or multi-hitting attack, depending on that. And the sweet spot is also too is that within your characters, you can upgrade them. Say, well, this tack here does 1 hit. This tack here will do 5 hits if you upgrade your character. So this is kind of a good upgrade path and a good monetization technique here. So destroy enemy. Make sure you have spawn rate of 0.6. And let's do that same thing here. Actually, we can delete that and work smarter and just kind of change that. Destroy enemy and keep them the same. Okay, now this trigger here doesn't do any damage at all. Death delay is a really good trick. I would love to show here, but we can't do that now. Damage is going to be 2, and health is going to be, do we have some health here? No. Health is going to be no, wrong one. And health, oh, do I already have health here somewhere? Oh yeah, it's right here. Sorry. Health is going to be 0. Keep that at 0 because it'll disappear as soon as you do it. So opacity for both will be 0, and this one is here as well will be 0. Okay. Okay, now we have our attack set up. Let's go ahead and try this out. Let's get over this fireball. Jump behind the character. That it pretty much kills him, but that attack is so weak. We need to work on the power a little bit, so I'm gonna just wait till this guy is done doing his thing. You can see it only hits 1 time each time. That's kind of weak there, so we can adjust that here. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Like I said earlier, sometimes I need this character to do multiple hits when this happens. So I'm gonna do 2. I'm going to do 2 on this one. We can't see them, but I know they're there. I've been doing this. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on that. Let's go back. Let's kill this guy really quick. Okay. See that? Oh, didn't die yet. I mean, he could take a lot of hits, so. That was cool. So now, what we also can do is make sure that each hit does more damage. So let's go to our trigger B. Let's do damage. It can be 6, so we can get more bang for our buck. There we go. Very nice. And we can also extend this action as well too. So this might be a little bit too short of an action. So I'm gonna bring this down to, or actually bring it up to maybe 0.6 and see how that behaves. There you go. The thing is too is if you press the button really fast, it'll come out really quick. You can stop it, and if you hold it down, it does too. So that can be another way you can work with the character. See that? So let's try one more thing so you can see the power of this. Let's extend this box out a little bit more. This is destroy character right here. Destroy enemy can be longer. So just so that you can see what's kind of going on here, so you can see the spawners not spawning 100,000 times. Let's go ahead and do it with the visual. The hitbox is visible there. So okay, let's try it that way. You can see that they trigger for a little bit and they go away. So now you can see that I can go from here and hit them from there. So this is pretty much going to be the de facto way of doing a melee attack in Buildbox. If you have any questions, just hit me up in the forums. This is Mike Austin, and have a good rest of your day.